Hello everyone and welcome back to another album review. In this video I'm going to review The Great Dismal by Nothing. This is the fourth full-length album of the shoegaze and dream pop project Nothing, which my introduction to them was with their previous album that they did 2 years ago called Dance on the Blacktop. For me this was a pretty interesting shoegaze album. I really enjoyed most of the elements of noise rock there were to it. I liked its intensity, and it was certainly not an album that blew me away, but it was a very interesting and nice experience, especially considering that I've never been that much into shoegaze music. I've just heard few albums in the genre, mainly the classics from like My Bloody Valentine or Slowdive, and I found this album to be quite intriguing, so I was looking forward to a new release from them, and I was definitely super excited when I listened to the singles on this thing, the first two songs, because I found that there were some pretty good stuff. I really love the track Say Less. It has such great drumming to it, super energetic track, quite intense at times. I really love the whole delivery. It is such a beautiful and gorgeous track. Love the overall production of it, the overall pacing and structure feels really nice. I really like the whole aesthetic of this track. We also have the amazing Bernie Sanders, another one that is really gorgeous with its sound. It's a slower paced track, but it gives me a vibe of like something I would hear from like Death in Vegas or like Whitey, which for me it is a big plus. But the thing is that listening to the rest of the album, I wouldn't say I found anything else that would strike me as something this amazing as these two teaser tracks, because those tracks certainly teased for something amazing to come, which in my opinion it's not that much of the case over here. I still find that when it comes to its sound, it's a pretty intriguing album. The production is nice, the whole aesthetic is quite beautiful, and there is also another track that I quite enjoy, which is April Haha, a track that has its strong moments with its noisy approach, the more energetic attitude. It's definitely one of the highlights on this album. There was also another teaser track that was Famine Asylum, which I find to have some interesting ideas, but certainly not being one of my favorites over here. You know, the thing that I thought at first was that maybe it's just the first listen. I definitely found some intriguing and nice moments throughout this whole thing, but nothing else really standing out compared to the two singles. So I was like, if I listen to this album more, maybe it would click on me. Maybe I would find more highlights, more moments that would stand out. But coming back to this album, I sort of felt the opposite. I found that most of the moments over here would sound quite boring and not that imaginative. The album would become less and less captivating the more I would listen to it, and this is where I would see some more major flaws happening. This album, for the most part, it's quite one-dimensional. There is not that much of a sense of progression or something new with it. Like, I don't find they really develop their sound compared to their previous efforts, and despite 2 or 3 highlights that have a bit of a more unique approach and sound, most of the material over here almost sound like the same. There's not that much more to this album in order to talk about. Tracks like A Fabricated Life, it's such a slow paced track. It goes for around 6 minutes, and in those 6 minutes there's not really that much to this going on. And going forward to this album, especially towards the second half, I would find that the 4 final tracks were really kind of the same thing. There was not something really that special about the whole sound or the production, or something that would give a sense of something quite refreshing. If you just want a dreamy and beautiful album, you're definitely going to get it, but there's not something more than this. Like, I think with their previous albums they've done this thing like better before, especially with like the track Blue Mecca. This is the one I remember like not finding something that much redeeming to it. Now, there's not like a bad moment over here, but there were certainly occasions that I felt were kind of boring. Like I said, it has its moments. Tracks like Say Less and Bernie Sanders are absolutely amazing. I love those songs. It's unfortunate that the rest of the album doesn't really live up to the amazing nature of those two singles, and the more I would listen to it, the more I would not feel coming back to it as a full project. So yeah, this New Nothing album, it's a decent shoegaze album and it's certainly quite enjoyable and atmospheric, but not all the way through. I'm going to give The Great Dismal a 6 out of 10. What's your opinion on this album? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.